Yo, what's going on, guys? Pretty fair breaking to the YouTube video. Today, I wanted to talk about how to medic, how to be a medic player in Battlefield 1. So we're going to start off with talking about how the class has kind of changed over the years. We're going to look at Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, and then Battlefield 1. We're going to skip Hardline because we don't mess with Hardline. So, Battlefield 3, the medic class was actually called the Assault class. The Assault class had the heavy-hitting assault rifles. You know, you had your AKs, your M16s, your M416s, your FAMASs, fast-shooting guns that could get it done close, medium, and long range. And then you had, your different class sets like your Engineer, your Support, your Recon, whatever. In Battlefield 4, it was basically the same setup as Battlefield 3. They might have changed the name or two, I'm not really sure, but the medic class in Battlefield 1 is completely different. They did a completely different refiguration of different class sets, different perks, different stuff like that. So the Assault class now in Battlefield 1 is your basic Engineer class without the repair tool. You can destroy tanks, you have your closer, almost PDW type weapons, your submachine guns, your trench weapons, your shotguns, stuff like that. Stuff that's going to get the job done at close range. So to get better at the medic class, first you have to realize the difference, and I'm sure people that are playing it now will obviously recognize the difference. So this is just for people that maybe haven't picked up the game yet, or are still playing different games, still playing Battlefield 4, and just haven't really put enough time into Battlefield 1. So in this game, the medic class still has your defib, still has your medic kit, whatever. The big difference is the guns. Now, you're going to have to change playstyles with these guns because these guns are the DMRs of Battlefield 4. There is one fully automatic gun, I am pretty sure. It is the Sweeper. And it is a very good gun, but when used fully automatic, it is terrible. And I don't mean terrible as in, holy shit, that's terrible. I mean terrible as in, wow, my gun is looking up 40 foot in the air and I was just aiming at the ground. The recoil and the precision of that gun is bad. So when you're starting to shoot and when you're starting to go fully automatic with that gun, it will kick a lot. The recoil is bad. You get a lot of those non-bullet reg moments, and that's because your gun is bouncing a lot. So it's almost better just to run semi-automatic guns like the Mondragon Storm, or like what you see me using here. I can't even pronounce the name. Selves Blaster, M1916, whatever. The semi-automatic guns are really, really powerful, and to get used to that in this game, you have to change your playstyle. So if you're used to running around with an AK or with a FAMAS, you have to adjust to the differences in this game. And I've seen a lot of people write me messages and say, how do you do so well with the medic class? How do you do this with the medic class? How? The only way to get better with the medic class in this game is to get used to it. You cannot play Battlefield 1 the same way you play Battlefield 4. And on a side note, that's what makes me so mad when you have people comparing the two games. This is two different genres of war. We're talking about World War I versus modern, day warfare. Completely different. Nowhere close. So, on a side note, people that compare those two, shame on you. You should not be comparing Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 1. I mean, that's just not right. Battlefield 1 is a completely different entity when it comes to a Battlefield game. It is a classic World War I style game. So I just wanted to go on a side note because I hear a lot of people all the time saying, oh, Battlefield 4, Battlefield 1, blah, blah, blah. Guns aren't balanced here. Guns are balanced here. You can't do that. So Battlefield 1, when we go back to this, to get used to playing the medic class, you have to get used to it. I mean, you have to become more aware of what you're doing. And it goes back to the situational awareness I was talking about in the gunfight video, the tips and tricks on how to win gunfights. You have to be aware of where you can push and where you need to sit back. The hot zones and the cold zones, like I said. If you ever play with me in Battlefield, you will hear me say, hey, that's a hot zone, that's a cold zone. Cold zones are basically flags that we have that you're going to be able to push there, almost like a safe zone. A hot zone is obviously like enemy territory where the enemy spawn is, blah, blah, blah. I use that a lot in competitive. I say that's a hot zone, it's a cold zone. Here, bang, bang, bang. This is where we're going, this is where we're not going. Hot zone, cold zone. So you have to get used to where the map setup is. So if you have, say on this map, you have D and you have C. These are cold zones, but they're still technically hot zones because these enemies are pressing hard. This is the middle of the map, so the middle of the map is always going to be a hot zone. I can't take a break from pre-aiming or head glitching on this side, or getting ready for a gunfight. It's not going to work like that. I have a slower shooting gun, and a lot of these gunfights that I'm getting in now are closer range, so a lot of times I pull out the pistol. You have to get used to that. In Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3, you could run around with an AEK hosing people down, hip firing, because it shot 900 rounds a minute, and it was very, very powerful. Not a lot of recoil, and it was just an overall great gun. So I see a lot of people complaining already about the medic class in this game, and it's actually driving me crazy, because I think it's really just people not knowing how to play it. I really like what they did with the medic class in this game, making it to where it's almost like a more skillful thing to use. Now, granted, a lot of these medic guns are pretty powerful, 2 to 3 bullets, but that's how it should be. It's one of those things you have to play slower on, and the trench guns are going to kill you close range if they hit their shots. That's how it is. So when people come to me and they ask me, how do you do this, how do you do that, my answer, is very generic. You have to get used to it. You have to practice it. And this tips and tricks video is not just one that you're going to be able to say, wow, I took so much off of that. It's a very generic answer, and it's going to be the most generic response you get. But in order to get used to anything, you have to practice it. And to practice it, and I'll give you tips on how to practice it, to be honest, it's to play Conquest. Do exactly what you see me and my friend Bubba Corleone doing, where we have D and we have C on Empire's Edge. This map, everybody pushes C and D because of the towers. D is a big control point. You can push straight down to E. If you control C and D, you typically win the game for the most part. So everybody's pushing C and D. It's the middle of the map. It's the epicenter. Everybody's pushing that. Everybody wants to take those flags. They want to sit up in the towers, and they want to play defensive. So what you do is you take these flags, and you kind of sit back with your medic class gun. You get used to these different gunfights. Most of your gunfights with the medic class is going to be from a medium to a long range distance. You're not going to be pushing up in the front line unless you're crazy. And especially with the gun I'm using now, this gun shoots really, really slow, and when you spam the gun, you get the visual notices that, hey, slow down. The gun is jumping 40 foot in the air. Don't fuck with that. So you got to get used to it, and get some friends together, play some Conquest, get used to longer range gunfights. And in the next tips and tricks video, I'm going to show you guys how to kind of improve your accuracy with these medic class guns. I notice a lot of people write me saying, I feel like my bullets don't register. I feel like I'm hitting them, but I'm really not. You have to lead your shots with these guns because they are single shot. So in the next tips and tricks video, I will make sure to incorporate how to improve your aim with these guns, because I have a couple tricks up my sleeve, and I think it'll really help a lot of you guys out. So thank you guys so much for watching. I know I kind of rambled along this video, but it's kind of hard to explain how to get used to a class. But hope you guys did enjoy some of the information that you guys got. If you did, leave a like down below. Share with us with your friends. And yeah, subscribe for more action. I have a nice kind of montage stream highlight thing going out tomorrow, and I'll be streaming later on tonight. We'll see how that all goes. Follow me on Twitter. My Twitch is in the description. Go ahead and get everything accustomed with that so you can see when I go live, and you can just keep up to date with my doings, my videos that come out. And like I said, tomorrow, big montage highlight reel type thing from stream, and it'll be pretty dope. I have a new intro coming out tomorrow as well. So hope you guys do enjoy the video. If you did, leave a like down below. And as always, this is your boy Proof. I'm out. Peace.